Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Still chapter of Salah, Bab al-Adhan. This part of this chapter talks about al-Adhan, calling for the Salah. The first hadith عن عبد الله بن زيد بن عبد ربه رضي الله تعالى عنه قال: طاف بي وأنا نائم رجل فقال: تقول الله أكبر الله أكبر، فذكر الأذان بتربيع التكبير بغير ترجيع، والإقامة فرادى إلا قد قامت الصلاة. قال: فلما أصبحت أتيت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال: إنها لرؤيا حق. الحديث أخرجه أحمد وأبو داود وصححه الترمذي وابن خزيمة. وزاد أحمد في آخره قصة قول بلال في أذان الفجر: الصلاة خير من النوم. وابن خزيمة عن أنس رضي الله تعالى عنه قال: من السنة إذا قال المؤذن في الفجر حي على الفلاح قال: الصلاة خير من النوم. هذا الحديث له سبب، هو أن الصحابة لما كثروا بالمدينة تشاوروا أن يجعلوا علامة يعرفون بها وقت الصلاة، فأشار بعضهم باتخاذ الناقوس وبعضهم باتخاذ البوق وبعضهم برفع النار، لكن رد هذا كله لأجل أن الناقوس للنصارى والبوق لليهود والنار للمجوس. ثم أشار عمر رضي الله تعالى عنه أن ينادى بالصلوات، فكان بلال ينادي بالصلاة جامعة. ثم إن عبد الله بن زيد راوي هذا الحديث رأى في المنام رجلا يحمل ناقوسا فقال: يا عبد الله أتبيع هذا الناقوس؟ قال: وما تصنع به؟ قال: ندعو به للصلاة. قال: أفلا أدلك على ما هو خير من ذلك؟ قال: بلى. فعلمه كلمات الأذان والإقامة، قوله بتربيع التكبير أي بتكرير قوله الله أكبر 4 مرات. This hadith, Abdullah ibn Zayd, the reason for this hadith is that the Sahaba used to come roughly around the time of Salah to do the Salah, and then they wanted to have a sign, a specific sign that shows them when to come exactly for the Salah. So some of them said, why don't we use something like a horn, and when we hear the horn we know it's time for the Salah. People start coming to the masjid, meaning time for the start for the time to start the timing for the Salah, not the Iqamah. So some of them said we use a bell, and some of them said why don't we light a big fire and people who see it know it's time for Salah. And then they said no, these ideas are not good, because the book, the horn is for the Yahud, the Jews, and the bell is for the Christians, and the light and the fire is for the Majus, people who worship the fire. Umar ibn Khattab said, why don't we just have someone call with a loud voice, as-salatu jami'ah. And then Abdullah ibn Zayd, when he was asleep, he saw this ru'ya. Ru'ya is different from a dream. A dream could be something you were thinking about or something from shaitan, but ru'ya is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it was ru'ya haqq. What he saw is someone carrying a bell, and he said to this man, can I buy this bell from you? He said, what do you want to do with it? He says, I want to call for the salah with it. He says, I will teach you something better than this bell. And he taught him the words of the adhan that we use these days. And he went next morning to Prophet ﷺ and told him what he saw. He says, إِنَّهَا لَرُؤْيَا حَقٍّ. Abdullah ibn Zayd ibn Abd Rabbihi أنصاري خزرجي يكنى أبا محمد شهد العقبة وبدرا والمشاهد. أري الأذان في النوم في السنة الأولى من الهجرة بعد بناء المسجد النبوي. توفي سنة 32 هجرية وله 64 سنة. Abdullah ibn Zayd, then when he said this to Prophet ﷺ, he said this is a true ru'ya from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّهَا لَرُؤْيَا حَقٍّ. And he actually told him to go and teach it to Bilal. فقال له فإنه أندى منك صوتا. Bilal has a better voice, so to teach him these words so he can give the adhan instead of you. And there's some additions to this, that Bilal used to say الصلاة خير من النوم after حي على الفلاح, and this is from the Sunnah. This is of the Sunnah as well, to say الصلاة خير من النوم after حي على الفلاح, only in the morning prayer adhan. So the way this adhan was reported is exactly what we do these days. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar 4 times. And you should do Allahu Akbar, better do it with one breath. The 2 Allahu Akbar, the first 2 with one breath, and the second 2 with one breath. Allahu Akbar, then you take another breath, Allahu Akbar, and then you say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Everything else comes 2. The first Allahu Akbar comes 4 times. فذكر الأذان بتربيع التكبير. Allahu Akbar 4 times. Everything else comes twice. And then he says لغير ترجيع. Tarjih is when the muazzin says secretly before he says with a loud voice, he says Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, and then he says it loudly again. Ashhadu an la. So he said it to himself, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, to himself, and then he said it loudly. This is called tarjih. The adhan of Abdullah bin Zayd, as he was taught in the sleep, there was no tarjih. There was no tarjih. So better, actually there are some riwayat that say the tarjih was mentioned. So most of the time the muazzin should not make tarjih. He should just say loudly only, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, Ashhadu Muhammad Rasulullah. He shouldn't say it to himself first, for most of the time. Sometimes he may do this, because the stronger narration is that there is no tarjih. There is no tarjih, right? This is understood, tarjih, not tarjih. And then he says, and then everything else, hayya salah twice, hayya al-falah twice, Allahu Akbar twice. And then la ilaha illallah is well known, it is once. Wal-iqama furada. Al-iqama furada. The iqama is, everything is single. Everything is single. So everything is single, you can understand it as Allahu Akbar once, or is it Allahu Akbar? How should it be? Yeah, the stronger opinion is that it is Allahu Akbar, and then Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah once, Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah, Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala falah. The only thing, illa qad qamat as-salah, that will be twice. Qad qamat as-salah, twice. Okay? Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. So some scholars say that Allahu Akbar at the very beginning is only once. So you say Allahu Akbar, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala falah, qad qamat salah, Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. That is one way of saying it too. But the stronger one is that you say Allahu Akbar 2, at the beginning and at the end. So the only words that are double are Allahu Akbar at the beginning, Allahu Akbar at the end, and قد قامت الصلاة in the middle. It's just like we do these days. And then of course you say after حي على الفلاح الصلاة خير من النوم الصلاة خير من النوم. Any question about this hadith, the first hadith that describes the adhan?
Is there any madhab tells that you can make qam or whatever?
I haven't come across this. We went on this yesterday. Last year we talked about this as well, and none of the ahadith mentioned the iqama like the adhan. None of the ahadith mentioned the iqama like the adhan. The iqama in all the ahadith are just like what we said. Either you do Allahu Akbar once and everything once except qad qamat salat twice, or you do Allahu Akbar and Allahu Akbar at the end and qad qamat salat twice, and everything else is once. That is all that is mentioned in the hadith. There is no other way to say of doing it.
It's really okay that you want to pray alone. You should do the adhan.
It is of the sunnah to do the adhan. It is mustahab. It is still recommended if you are alone.
Even at home,
Even at home, it is still recommended to do the adhan and to do the iqamah. That's for the men. For women, did not require it. There's a hadith, ليس على النساء أذان ولا إقامة. ليس على النساء أذان ولا إقامة. بمعنى أن الرجال عليهم أذان وإقامة. The men have to do أذان and إقامة. It is recommended. It is not an obligation, but there is a hadith that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with that, with the person Allah is pleased with the shepherd in the middle of the desert. Whenever the time of salah comes, he makes adhan, he makes iqamah and praise. Although nobody's listening to him except his sheep, right? but still, whatever you say, whatever hears your voice will be a witness for you. Even this wood, even a hajar, even a stone.
I heard you see some people saying that if you other than that they are jinnat, if they are present, they might join you.
The jinn.
I don't know.
Jinn used to come and listen to the Quran of the Prophet ﷺ. It is a possibility, but we don't know if this actually happens. Yeah. But they used to come to listen to the Quran when the Prophet ﷺ used to recite. Yeah. Why it is not mentioned in the hadith why the women are not supposed to do adhan or iqama. ليس على النساء أذان ولا إقامة. This is how it was taught by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Actually, this hadith ليس على النساء أذان ولا
علشان صوتها عورة.
نعم. No. The way things are done, we take them as they were reported to us. But there is a hadith, ليس على النساء أذان ولا إقامة. I don't know if it's going to come or not. No, I haven't come across it here yet. نعم تفضل.
صحيح أن الأذان يطرد الجن يعني الجنون في بعض الأماكن.
الأذان يطرد الجن. أيوة نعم في ورد أن الشيطان لما المؤذن يؤذن الشيطان يهرب. نعم دي حاجة واردة. نعم إن الشيطان بيهرب وقت سماع الأذان بيهرب. نعم.
لأنها يعني according to Dr. Khalid's question لأن النساء يعني حتى في الصلاة الجهرية ليس لهم جهة في الصلاة وليس لهم جهة في التكبير ولا في التأمين إذا كانوا خلف الإمام.
النساء ما يكونوا أئمة في الصلاة كذلك يعني في فروق كثيرة بين الرجال والنساء في أمور كثيرة.